All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is the last day in the MLB season here, October 1st. We do have a full slate to jump into in today's video, but obviously with it being the last day, we don't have a lot of information. A lot of teams don't necessarily care because all the games and all the playoff spots, I should say, are ironed out at this point in terms of clinching the wild card or clinching the division here. So not much to play for on this Sunday of baseball, but nonetheless, we're gonna go through each and every game. We'll talk about the games. I'll give you my lean or leans on the games, but all of my final plays will be in the pinned comment. Now, we probably won't be too aggressive today with the final plays because, again, there's not all that much to play for in the league. There still may be some spots, so we're still gonna dive in and break down the slate. But in terms of how we are looking here, this is a season breakdown. We picked up, I think it was 1.3 units in September, so obviously not the best of Septembers, but still a profitable September, and we are looking at a over 33 unit profits so far in the regular season. There, you take away the parlay, if you want to count that or not, we're looking at right around a 20 unit profit there. So not terrible, a profitable season there, obviously. So let's go ahead and jump into today's game. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. Go cop the Fade Me merch, fademe.store for today and tomorrow only. You can use code WEEK4 and get 20% off. That's WEEK4, WEEK 4 over on fademe.store. Game number one here, we're looking at Atlanta taking on Washington here. Obviously, Atlanta had a really good season, the number one team in the AL. Dylan Dood pitching for them today, D-O-O-D, going up against Jackson Rutledge. Atlanta still heavily juiced here. There's nothing really that I'm looking for in this game. We have a total of 11. I could see myself kind of fading this one and saying, all right, guys, this is the end of the year. A couple high totals on the slate. I think they just kind of want to sleepwalk through this. So my only true lean in this game is going to be towards the under. The thing that makes that a little nerve-wracking is you have Dylan Dood on the mound and then Jackson Rutledge on the mound. Two pitchers that could easily let up a bunch of, or we don't know much about Dylan Dood, but just assuming, could let up a decent amount of runs. But I'll still lean towards the under here. And apologies if we kind of blow through the slate in these games just because of where we're at in the season. All right, game number two here, San Francisco taking on the Dodgers. San Fran gets the win yesterday, 2-1. They are plus 145 dogs today. On the mound for the Dodgers is going to be Bobby Miller. Kyle Harrison pitching for San Francisco. For whatever reason, I'm thinking that there could be an opportunity here to look at San Francisco. I don't think the Dodgers are really going to go full force into this game here. Kyle Harrison looks like he started to maybe at least pitch consistently. I don't want to say that he's figured things out whatsoever, but Bobby Miller I haven't been totally impressed with in the last few outings here. And then we look at it from an offensive perspective, and the Dodgers batting lefties in their last 10, 212 for an average here. Now San Francisco batting righties, batting 131, so they're not batting all that well, but if you're going to catch the Dodgers, it's going to be when they're not batting well. So I guess I lean San Francisco because I do like that price tag, but guys, I doubt this becomes a final play. You're going to hear me say that a bunch, and I do apologize for that, but you got to understand, last game of the year, that type of thing, last games of the year. I'm sure a lot of people can understand that, but if you don't, be careful. Be careful. Like I just said, we're up 33, 34 units on the entire MLB season. It'd be a shame to drop like 5 units here, not knowing what we're doing or something like that. Like, be conservative. Playoff baseball's coming up. That's when you're going to know what you're going to get. Less games or boxes of chocolates, that type of thing. So be patient. We just got to get through today, okay? But yeah, I like the under here as well, 8.5. I'm going to lean towards a fair amount of unders today, not the 7.5s on the slate, but a few of them just because I do think that this is going to be kind of like, all right, hurry on and get on with it type of a day. Speaking of hurry on and get up with it, hurry up and get on with it. Yikes. That's a brain fart there. We are just going to go through games that we do have the pitchers for in the lines and stuff because we got some football content to make, baby. So any games that are blank here on the graphic, if we don't at least know pitchers or the graphic is still up to date as in we don't have odds or whatnot, we'll go ahead and kind of jump through quickly or skip through. But we got Baltimore taking on the Red Sox here. Baltimore in terms of finishing out this season, I did say that they would lose one of these games against the Red Sox. They won. They lost that game number 2. I think that they go out there and win today. Kyle Bradshaw on the mound hasn't let up a run in 2 weeks, or 2 weeks, yikes, 2 starts here. I'm telling you, my brain is fried. Striking out about 6.6 per game over his last 5. Going up against Tanner Houck today. Tanner Houck did not look good in his last time out here. 8 earned runs, 7 earned runs over 3 innings pitched against the Rays. Not all that great. Give me Baltimore here on the money line. The only problem is the juice that you are paying, -185. Total sitting at 7.5. Give me some runs. I've already seen a couple books move this up to 8, so I like the chances here if we could snag this at 7.5, which you still can over on DraftKings currently. All right, Milwaukee taking on Chicago. Though Chicago kind of, crapped away their chances for the season to continue, they do have Justin Steele on the mound, and he's been tough as of late. I have a feeling he's going to want to go out there and pitch really well against Milwaukee today. He did that earlier in the year. He's actually done it 2 of his 3 starts here against Milwaukee. He's got a 1.0 ERA, averaging over 7 strikeouts per game in his last 3 games against Milwaukee, all coming this season. But last time out, he pitched 6 innings, 0 earned runs here, no home runs, only 1 walk with 8 strikeouts. His best, one of his best starts against them on the season here. I think that he goes out there and does it again, kind of wanting to stamp his, approval on the idea of I had a good season and everything like that. In terms of what we're looking at from him on the season here, in terms of his stats, he did have, a 3.06 ERA with a 1.17 whip. You got to love that. I do like the pitcher. I think he is a good pitcher for sure. And then in terms of his win-loss, 16 wins, 5 losses in 30 games started here. Definitely a season worth remembering in terms of I think it might be even his first winning season as a pitcher. So I hope he goes out there and does it again today. Give me the Cubs on the money line here. Total sitting at 8.5, and I like the under. Adrian Hauser on the side for Milwaukee. He's been pitching pretty good. 2 flat ERA over his last 5 games here. Not letting many guys on base either, only averaging right around 4 hits. So I do like the idea of this one going under 8.5 today. All right, we got the Detroit Tigers taking on the Cleveland Guardians here. Tigers are heavily favored. Not that heavily, but -130. Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound for them. He looked good in his last start. 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs with 5 Ks against the Oakland A's. So you're not really getting much, information out of that. But I still like him compared to Lucas. And this is the last time we're going to say it this season. Lucas Frozen Yogurt Giolito on the mound for Cleveland here. I like Eduardo Rodriguez's chances. When you look at this from an offensive perspective, it is fairly close. You actually have 2 teams that in their last 5 are batting over 300 against Cleveland going up against a lefty and Detroit going up against a righty. And then their on base percentage, Detroit 391 over the last 5, Cleveland 397 over the last 5. So I like this spot here for an over as well, 7.5. That could trump the Detroit pick here, to be completely honest. I think that these offenses are sneakily scoring a decent amount of runs. Last time they played each other too, 7-5, 8-0, like some high scoring runs on both sides there, depending on how you cut it up. So give me the over 7.5 as well. Yankees taking on Kansas City, and for whatever reason, I do like Zach Greinke and Kansas City in this spot. Greinke's been pitching fairly well, 1.8 ERA over his last 5, 1.6 ERA in his last 3 here, with a 1.0 whip over his last 3. I think that he's got a good spot here, and this may be a weird reason to kind of look into it, but the Yankees are used to winning. This is like a letdown of a season for them, obviously, right? Like, this isn't what they wanted, blah, blah, blah. Kansas City still has a bunch of young guys. They're used to kind of stinking, to be honest, that this sort of late game spot, like, I think that they still go up there and try and get a win. I don't really believe in the tanking aspect, especially really in baseball, so I don't think they're going to try and lose. And I think they just have some young guys that they'd like to continue to kind of cultivate here. The only problem is they're going up against Michael King, who anytime he's touched a baseball, it seems this season, the guy has dealt. So I will take Kansas City, especially for that, nice little price there of what do we got here? Plus 140 on FanDuel. I think that is plenty okay with me, right? So I'm going to go ahead and lean towards Kansas City here, just because I think that plus 140 is nice. I think that they're going to actually try and get some talent and whatnot getting ready to go into the offseason, whereas the Yankees are probably like, screw this season and any bad season that they've had as of late, right? Total sitting at 9. I do like the under, but I doubt it becomes a final play. I doubt a lot of these become a final play. It's been a while since I said that in today's video, so I might as well say it again. All right, we had odds for this game. They've been stripped away. Can't really find them anymore, but Arizona underdog, Houston favored, makes a lot of sense in terms of who's pitching. I did see Christian Javier going up against Kyle Nelson. I don't know if those are actually going to be the starters here, but I'll take Houston. If they're anywhere like at -130 or -1, maybe 40 is the furthest we go. I do think that, they're going to get prepped and ready to go here for the playoffs. Arizona obviously still getting a wild card spot, so they are playing for, to get ready for the playoffs as well. But I think Houston feels they might have a title shot, being the Houston Astros, some of the talent on the team. Whereas Arizona, I hate to say it, they do have a lot of talent, but you look at that NL with the Dodgers and the Braves, you're kind of like, I'm just happy to be included. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be a tough road to get there, as opposed to this AL, which I do still think is kind of wide open. So Houston may take this game as a really big gear up for the playoffs type spot, whereas Arizona, it's more like the last day of the regular season to them. Again, guys, think about what we're saying. Like this is not numbers. This is not this. This is just big old gut, trying to feel out where these teams would come out. So be careful today. I've said it a million times. It's getting annoying in the video. I'm sure it is. But yeah, if in fact, speaking of annoying, if you're still watching right now, go ahead and comment 10. Show me that you made it through this far into the video, because if you did, man, you were a real one, because there's just not much to talk about in some of these games, at least from my end. I'm a dummy. Maybe I'm missing some big storylines and stuff. Hand up, it could happen. But yeah, appreciate you if you are still watching. Let me know by commenting 10. Speaking of which, and when I say speaking of which, me being a dummy, we didn't talk about last night. We go 3-2. So we'll take the cha-ching, and our ride of the day comes through as well. Shout out to Loso here. Houston and the Diamondbacks under 9. They finished at 1. What a ride of the day pull there from Loso, guys. Go ahead and drop your hashtag ride of the day in the comments. I'll be jumping on board, or hopefully we'll be jumping on board with one person's pick in the comments. And if I do, you guys get a shout out in the next video, win or loss. That's probably an all-time record here of late ride of the day and recap of last night. But like I said, a lot of teams are going to be sleepwalking through this slate. Maybe your boy Ev is sleepwalking through. I didn't think I was gonna, but maybe I'm, just not focused on this game as well. Like you said, we got a bunch of videos to make today. Still, it's up and early, up and at 'em. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and continue on with the slate. White Sox taking on San Diego. I think you're getting some decent, odds when it comes to San Diego here, but it's still pretty pricey, right around -170. So that is my lean. But just because I don't like Jose Urena, he's pitching for the White Sox. He stinks. But I'll lean towards the Padres here, but I doubt that becomes the final play. I got to stop saying that. I'm going to start giving away $100 every time I damn say that. But all right, yeah, give me the Padres in this spot. In terms of a total sitting at 9, it's actually 9.5 over on MGM right now. I like that under, but it does worry me a little bit that books are moving it up. Are they moving it up because they don't want to, give away that 9 number? I still like the under regardless. Speaking of unders, that's going to be my main lean in this spot, as it always is when the Rockies are at home. Under 12 is going to be where my head's at in terms of this game. In terms of, obviously, a money line, Minnesota, the better team, the odds here aren't as crazy as I would think. -170 right now for the Twins is pretty manageable. You can get that on Caesars. I'm surprised. I would think that this would be what it has been, which was, way different in terms of what the Twins have been -265 against the A's, -185 against Colorado. I think it was actually a pretty decent number yesterday, but nonetheless, yeah, I'll take the Twins on the money line, and then also the under 12 in this spot. St. Louis taking on Cincinnati here, and I think this is kind of a similar spot. Not necessarily that the Cardinals are in the same spot as the Yankees, but Cincinnati has tons of young guys. I think that they play every bounce of a ball until it's last. So I'm going to lean towards Cincinnati here. They were just a couple games from being a wild card team this year. They've probably inspired to go into next year. Young guys, give me them on the money line. For odds right now, you are looking at -112 over on FanDuel. I'll take it. Not bad whatsoever. Total sitting at 8.5, and I like the over there as well. Guys, quick video. Apologize for that, but look at the MLB and say take your grievances out on them. But appreciate everybody, that tuned in so far in this regular season. We're not done with baseball videos, but this is the cap of the regular season. And I want to run some numbers and see how many subscribers we got and all that stuff during the baseball season, because for what people call the most boring sport, I loved doing this each and every day for baseball. We didn't do it last year. We had someone else doing it, last year, not consistently as I would like. But I decided, you want something done, you got to do it right. Once I'm done right, you got to do it yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. So I took on the baseball role here, knowing that, I could do it, but a time management thing is crazy. We're going to have baseball videos, basketball videos, football videos all at the same time in a month or so. And, it's a lot. It's not as bad as some people. You know, if you're in a coal mine working, like that's way worse than me sitting in a chair and making a freaking video, right? But it's still taxing. It's still a lot. But you guys made it so worth it to grind and get up every day early, sometimes before the sun, and get everything set up. And I do mean that honestly. Like, you guys made that completely worth it. We did videos to 2 people for years, right? Like, before we started to catch a little traction. So I know that we would have that grind mentality and we could make videos to, you know, nobody. But the fact that, you know, sometimes tens of thousands of people are viewing these videos, that motivates the shit out of me in the morning to get up and make a good video. So yeah, appreciate this, guys. If you made it to this point in the video, comment 50, and this is the first time we've doubled down on the numbers. So if you made it to 10, comment 10. Made it to this point in the video, I know that you heard my I guess, thank you letter of address, whatever you want to call it. But I am very thankful, guys. So we'll catch you guys in the next video, right? Peace out.